Frankie, welcome. Another week of boxing. Another busy week for boxing.
Very busy week. Busy. Lots of good things coming up. Had some good meetings yesterday at Frank Warren's office with regard to Darryl Williams, Asinia Byfield, Onda Ozgul. Got some big fights coming up for all of them. So
anything you can share yet, or?
Yeah, Onda Ozgul fight for the WBO European. That's coming up quite shortly on a.
Who's he fighting?
He'll be boxing Lerone Richards, who's a very skillful boxer. Yeah, we know about Lerone. Onda knows what he's got his work cut out, but that'll be good. So that's what we've been doing this week. Got to move quite quickly because time is. Yep,
you're running out to a meeting. So let's crack on. Frank Warren signed Carl Frampton. Yep. Obviously Frampton's fighting on Saturday, but I wanted to ask you first, as a promoter, how do you see that deal? Do you think that's a good move for Carl, or?
Yeah, I mean, look, moving away from Barry McGuigan, obviously I was a matchmaker for Cyclone for a while.
Yeah, you've got a close relationship with them.
Yeah, and we just did a show with them recently. I think it's a gamble because they know that team works. He did very well, Carl, with the McGuigans. I don't think anyone could look at what they did and really say that they didn't achieve. They did. They took Carl Frampton to a world title. I also know, look, with boxers, you see the conversations I have every day. Often the grass is greener. Sometimes the grass actually is greener. And they do need to make a change. Sometimes they just think it's better, and that's why it's a gamble, right? Because he's now working with I mean, he's worked with Frank Warren before. They had a promotional contract. When I was working with them, they still have one fight left on their deal with Box Nation. It is a gamble. Having looked at the fight that they've made for Carl, I don't know who the matchmaker was that made it, but I thought, you know what, that's a perfect fight for him. That's a fight where I think it's not a what you'd call a gimme, but I think the guy has got all the qualities that you need to fit Carl's strengths. Carl, even though he's moved up in weight recently, he's still a strong guy, and I think really he needs to shine. He needs someone that stands with him, and I think this guy will try and stand with him. I think it's still a test. The guy has not been knocked out before, and I think it's there for Carl. I think Carl can knock him out. So Carl goes and knocks someone out who's had that many fights and never been stopped, and he's got a decent record. That's a. Yeah,
he's very highly rated in Mexico. This guy, I was watching some videos of him.
Yeah, that's it.
They do really rate him.
A featherweight that's well rated in Mexico, you can pretty much blindly say this guy must be able to fight because that's a really strong weight for them. And if you go through the years, they've almost like a conveyor belt of great fighters. So this isn't a Mexican road sweeper. This is like a guy that is probably going to be very tasty. In fact, what I've seen of him, although I think he's decent enough, I actually think he'll suit Carl. I think he'll try and stand with Carl a little bit too long for what's good for him, and I think Carl can stop him, and I think he will stop him, and I think that's the perfect.
He's not had a stoppage for a couple of years, Frampton, now, so that'd be quite nice to see for his Belfast fans.
Yeah, I don't want to put pressure on him. I mean, I actually really liked him. I never had any issues with
yeah, I'm a huge Carl Frampton fan, but do you think that obviously he's had his first professional loss now. He's obviously a resilient character, Carl. You don't get to be that many fights unbeaten without having a mental strength about you. But he has had that loss. He's had the split, and then he's got a new trainer, and now he's fighting back at home. Do you think maybe he'll start slowly and just go through the gears a bit, or do you think he'll come out flying?
I don't think he'll come out flying. I think he will want to feel his way in a bit because he's not been that active. I mean, obviously he had the fight that was cancelled and that's really horrible hard luck for the McGuigans, because a guy falling over in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't make it up, or you could. I mean, boxing, it does happen. I've known it actually to happen before. It's not like a one-off. It does happen, and it looked basically almost like they got given the boot as a result of that show falling through. Well, short of actually having a reserve
ready
sat there,
which means paying twice, though, surely.
Well, you could make, for example, two guys fight in a final eliminator on another fight on the same card. But it's money out. And most boxers, when they look at a spreadsheet, they look to, when they're in control of the promotion, they look to cut. I know what they try and cut the expenditure out. Why are we spending money on this? Get rid of that. Why do we need these two fighting? He won't get injured. I'm not saying Carl said that, but that is exactly the sort of conversation that, for me, I'm always safety first. People that have done business with me know I am very, very cautious. I'm very, very much safety minded, and let's make sure we get over the line rather than let's roll the dice and try and make double the money. But if something goes wrong, we're in a
world of pain.
Yeah, we're in a mess. But I know a lot of the fighters, their attitude is no, it'll all be all right. Just do it, and sometimes that can lead to a bit of a tug of war going on. Well, as it went, right, the guy did fall over. I mean, what's that? A 1 in 1,000 chance? How often do you hear of that going? I've heard of it on one account.
Well, I've had 1 or 2 showers in my life and never managed to do it.
Okay. Yeah, well, I've now. I mean, it happened to Danny Williams in Hungary, and he cut his eye, and it's just like ridiculous bad luck. How on earth did that happen? But it happened to Carl. Anyway, right. He, regardless of the reasons, he has moved on. To be honest, when I saw the fight, I heard of the guy before. I double checked on him, watched the footage, just so I could have an opinion of it, because I like. And very quickly I thought, you know what, spot on. I thought I don't know who made the fight, so I'm not trying to blow smoke up anybody, but I did actually think, what a good fight to make. Like I said, I think the biggest problem the guy's going to have is he's too fond of a dust-up, and he's not strong enough to compete with Carl. So I think what he will do is he'll try and stand there and have a tear-up with Carl. Never seen Carl get in a ring not in good condition. In fact, he's always in very, very good nick, and I think this guy will stand in front of Carl a split second too much.
So prediction then?
Knockout for Frampton. I think the guy's never been
mid
stopped.
to late, early?
Yeah, I think more mid to late. I think the guy gets past the halfway mark. Just because I think Carl will want to... I don't think he'll start with 100 miles an hour. I think he'll ease his way into it.
Yeah.
And once he's in there, I think he'll realise skill-wise he's above the guy. And also, I think when he realises this guy is actually willing to work at a pace which is not suitable to him, and is suitable to Carl, then I think that's when we're going to get the stoppage. And I hope Carl does have, and you know, I can imagine there's probably a few people out there who would probably want him to fail, you know, who'll be sort of, maybe have got the hump because he's moved on, but I'm certainly not one of them. I hope he does well. I obviously did their matchmaking for a while, and I worked with him, and I enjoyed working with them with Wiggins. I really like Carl as well, and you know, I want to see him do well. I think even with Wiggins, they all want to see him.
Yeah, they don't seem like the sort to be that.
No, I'm sure they were very disappointed that he moved on. That's the thing. They would be, but at the same time, look, they're sort of now almost friends for 15 years. I mean, they're not gonna. That's not gonna disappear overnight.
On the undercard, there is a big world title shot for Jamie Conlon against Ancajas of, I think he's Filipino.
Well, Jamie Conlon, as a boxing spectator, I've got to say, I mean, he is a hugely exciting. I mean, him and his brother, Michael Conlon and Jamie Conlon, two real, genuine world-class prospects. Jamie Conlon, for me, part of the reason why it's so exciting, because he likes to have a tear-up. He likes to have a fight, and I mean, he has to take a chance to a degree, fighting at the level that he wants to go to.
Yeah.
So you can't. It's not like you can just cherry pick, you know, an ideal opponent. I think he has to fight someone, and I think this guy, being quite upright, being sort of a type of boxer that he's already boxed many times and knows that style, how to deal with it.
Yeah.
That makes me favour him, because he's been successful against those kind of guys.
Yeah.
The fact that he will sort of revert to type, I think, and I think because of that, Michael will probably have his number quite comfortably. I say that with some hesitation, because if you've seen Jamie Conlon's fights before,
he has been put down, but he did get up and come for it to win. And this guy does carry power.
Okay, Jamie Conlon seems to make hard work of not easy tasks, but tasks where I thought, right, this is plain sailing now. He can just outbox him and that's it. He seems to willfully make that decision to go after the guy. And whereas some maybe more mature, more experienced guys will go, right, I'll just stay in second gear, that's fine, I'm beating him, I'm winning every round 10-9, that's good. He doesn't have that in him. He wants to knock people out. It's like he like many boxers would rather win boring than risk losing, whereas not Jamie Conlon. You know, he absolutely wants to the fight to be. I mean, it's like I saw one fight, and normally you see flyweights, and it's like, you know, most of the people go to the bar. he brings almost like a live Rocky movie to right in front of you. When you can see it, and these are flyweights, you know, small guys, and they're ripping into each other the way that I've seen him. And like I say, even at a level where skill-wise, I know he could have won.
Yeah.
Without taking hardly any risks, he could have won. He almost made that conscious decision. I'm going to step inside. I'm going to stay inside, and I'm going to work with this guy. And if I have to take 2 to give 3, or even have to give 2 to give 1, sometimes he'll do it to get his big shots off. And from a trainer's point of view and a management point of view, I'd imagine that's quite worrying, because I would be saying to the boxer, look, you know, you didn't have to do that. Here's the option that you can take where he can't hit you, and you can just have. But
potential to be the fight of the evening, this one.
Definitely, and I think for me, Frampton, I think wins quite comfortably. I think he'll just have too much of pretty much everything: power, speed, work. I think he'll win without too much difficulty. Obviously, this fight is much more of a gamble. I mean, they've done a lot of things. That they bought him a world title shot at home. You can't ask for more than that. You know, if he's going to win it,
he's going to win it there.
And it's not against a guy who's like that well established as a world champion. I think he's been a champion for a little bit over a year, and the guy fights away from home a lot.
Yeah.
So that tells you straight away, right? His marketability can't be that great either in the States or back home. They obviously are prepared to take that step away. That can sometimes mean, well, the guy. I remember when Orlando Canizales boxed in Paris once, and I went to it, and I always have worked with the Karius brothers, and it was like, oh yeah, bring him over. We've loaded everything in our favour. The fact why the guy was so comfortable going away from home, apart from just the lure of the money, was because he's such a good fighter. And this guy, we don't really know enough about him because we haven't seen him taking into deep waters. We have seen Jamie Conlon taking into deep waters against guys really that he could have outclassed. So now he's got a guy that really is a danger to him. We might see him boxing a little bit more conservatively, and when he does box conservatively, he's actually a very difficult guy to beat because he's long, got a great jab, he's very sort of loose-limbed, and he knows how to gauge distance, and I think he might box better than what a lot of people expect him to. He won't make the mistakes that he's made previously because of the skill levels that little bit higher. And this guy will punish him. I mean, if he makes mistakes, if he leaves his chin up or he stands inside that little bit too long, he will get knocked out. He will get hit hard and he'll get broken down. So he probably worked that out pretty quick when he's in there. And I think we might actually see the best of him because of that. You know, he might deliver the performance that. Well, I don't think he'll win boring because I don't think he's got that in him. But I think he might box a little bit more conservatively than he has done previously. And he's a really nice guy, actually. Really believes in himself 100%. I can say that, having worked on shows. You know, I match made him when he was with the McGuigans on their shows. I think I'll be crossing my fingers with him. So I think Frampton, I think, is a safe bet. As much as a safe bet as you can have at sort of top class boxing, and I think Conlon is maybe an outsider, but they've made the conditions for him. He couldn't ask his promoter to do any more than what they've done. They've brought the guy over, a world champion. It's a winnable fight, absolutely, and I think that the fact that it is going to be a little bit of a tougher assessment, I think you're going to see a more conservative performance from him, which actually I think will massively be in his favour. It's a very tough ask, that fight, for sure. He's got his work cut out. I'll be crossing my fingers for him. I hope he does it. Go on, Michael. Go on, Jamie.
On that note, I'll let you get off to the Houses of Parliament.
That's me off to the next stage of my day. Thank you, guys. Subscribe, give us a like, and good luck to the guys in Ireland. Cheers, guys.